Good morning. Good morning. How are you holding up?
I'm here. I took a nap.
Oh, good. What time did you take a nap?
I lay down at like 3 a.m.
Okay. And was it a pretty decent nap or was it?
It was fine until about like 7 when Ari put her face in my face and asked why I was asleep. So
What are you doing, Mom? What are you doing?
she's like, "Why are you sleeping?" And I was like, "Please get out of my face, bro. Thank you so much."
You know, it it's a valid question at the wrong time. Do you like normally? Do you go to bed pretty late, anyways?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm used to like a night schedule because when I worked at Taco Bell, I worked until 4 a.m.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I worked from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. So my
Yeah.
body, and I did that for a few years. So like now my body is just used to it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I will take a nap like in the middle of the day to kind of like compensate for it because like especially during the summer because Ari's home.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be up during the day. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you can't sleep all day, dude. So,
I'll let you sleep.
but yeah, usually I go to bed pretty late, anyways.
Okay.
But I do tend to take a nap before 24-hour sprint starts so I can make
Mhm.
it through as much as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I when I worked graveyard, it didn't go well, by the way. Um because I worked for a hotel and I was a night auditor. And so at night, like when everybody else is asleep, it you have a hard time staying awake too when you're like the only person in the lobby. And so I'd go into the little back room, especially when it's cold, turn the heater on, the little private heater, and then I would fall asleep. And of course, there were a couple of times where people had to come like knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I want to check out," and that was embarrassing. But I got to the point where I had to. I stopped sleeping during the day when I was supposed to be sleeping. So like I slowly shifted from like just not getting any sleep anymore. So my body was always like rejecting, completely rejecting graveyard. It just never worked out. I mean, I'm sure if I was in a situation where I was um like actively busy the whole time, like some people work graveyard and you would have stayed busy at Taco Bell, like then I probably wouldn't have had such a hard time. But like I really struggled with graveyard. So I know that it just takes the right people. I wasn't the right people.
Right.
Yeah. Just got harder and harder. And then my friends, I was living with my friends at the time, and so then they'd come home and in the daytime they'd all be awake. So I'd be like, I'm awake too, and then I would try to go to sleep, but I couldn't because I'd be, wake up, hear them and stuff like that. And so then I ended up just getting like 2, 3 hours of sleep a day, and it just became a consistent problem. So yeah, that was I just that wasn't for me. Okay, let's see how everybody's doing. It's Shelly. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? Good morning, Christina. Hi, Amy and Neva. Let's see. Hi, Shelly. And all reminders to stay hydrated, feed thyself. I haven't eaten anything yet this morning, but I do have my coffee. Check the laundry. If anybody wants to do my laundry, that'd be great. Take your meds. I need to take my vitamin D for this morning. I haven't done that yet. Stretch and show. Oh, stretch. Yeah, I should do that more often. Show self love. Oh, thank you for the like button. Also, make sure you sub and ring the bell. Thank you. Oh, thank you. So sweet. Okay, we're all set. Good morning, Jen. Hi, Jen. Oh, yeah. Reading Swift and Saddled. Oh, how is it? That's not the first one, right? It's not the first in the series. I was looking at a couple of those at the bookstore recently, and I'm like, maybe I need because everybody's really into these Western romances lately, and I'm like, I used to read it when I was young, but it was like the old ones from like the 1980s. Really problematic. Okay. Diablo 2 is what you did. Yeah. Oh, that's true. So I used to get off of work in the morning and then I'd go into Shell's bedroom. That's what it was. I'd go into Shell's bedroom, I'd start playing Diablo 2. and I'd play Diablo 2 until I couldn't stay awake anymore because she had it on her computer. And then she had a twin size bed. I would push her over and crawl into bed with her and fall asleep. I was a good friend. Let's see. How are you liking A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping? I am not that far yet. I didn't have any time to read yesterday. So, I'm like 28 pages in so far, and it's cute. Like, it's definitely whimsical, and that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, I haven't read the other one by Sangum, which is the Society of Irregular Witches or something like that. And I haven't read that one at all. And I don't think you need to have read that to be able to enjoy this. I don't know if there were like Easter eggs and stuff that's important to know before reading this, but I'm reading it. Yeah. And it so far it's got the whimsy that I'm looking for, but I haven't got very far yet. So I don't know. But there's a lot of cute little side characters. I like that. Yeah, thank you. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So hopefully, maybe don't tell me if I need to have read that first because it's too late. And I am usually a completionist. So let's see. No, they're standalones. I read. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's the second. It's not bad so far, but I've heard it's everyone's least favorite. We shall see. Okay. That's Swift and Saddled. It's a fun name. I like that title. Love them. So did CUD.
Charlie Uncle Daddy is her husband.
Oh, that's cute. I love that. Charlie Uncle Daddy. Very cute. Okay, so sounds like Jen's reading Swift and Saddled. What's everybody else reading? What are you reading, Neva? Are you going to?
Yeah, I need to listen to Play With Me, which is, I don't remember what the hell this. I think the series is called For Keeps. I think. I don't know. But it's the second book in a hockey romance series. And Kelsey and I are buddy reading it. It is. I liked the first one. This one is questionable. I might not like. I don't know that I like this one as much as the second or as the first one.
Play With Me. Playing for Keeps by Becca Mack.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah. So okay. I am having a little bit of trouble with I don't like I don't mind like a Playboy male character, except that I don't like it when we're supposed to believe that he's like in love with the female main character, and the reason that he's a Playboy is because he can't have her. It's just a weird dynamic to me. Because do you think that her knowing that you're sleeping with random girls is gonna make her
no
swoon?
I mean, she has enough self-esteem. I would hope not.
So, but even, and it is brother's best friend, which kind of, it's like brother's best friend, teammate's sister. That's the trope. Mm-hmm. And that trope for me can be a little bit hit or miss. Okay. You know?
Yep. Totally.
So and the insta love in it isn't super icky to me, because sometimes insta love can feel icky to me. You can just feel like you're kidding me, right? But this doesn't feel like that, but I think it's because we know that they've known each other.
Okay.
You know?
For a long time, because she's the sister of the yeah.
But he definitely is it's also kind of forced proximity, because she moves into a condo. Her brother buys her a condo in the same building as the main male character, and then is watch out for my sister type thing.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Sister. Yeah.
And then she's like, I don't need a babysitter or whatever. And literally she moves into this condo, and then this scene where they interact with each other is because her brother takes her upstairs and is one of the guys on the team lives upstairs, so I'll take you up there so he knows that you've moved in or whatever. And they knock on the door, and he's clearly had a one night stand with one of the other chicks in the building. And I'm just that's the only thing is I just don't. If you're gonna be a Playboy, that's cool. But don't talk about like from page 1 when you see the female main character, like how hot she is and like how much you want to be with her, but you can't be with her because she's your best friend's little sister. And then in like the next scene being like going into the elevator and like some random girl in your building is also in the elevator with you and she asks if you want to like hook up or whatever, so you do. It's just a weird
Yeah. Yeah.
dichotomy of things, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But like the
Yeah.
audiobook is good, so there's a plus.
So you may or may not enjoy it.
It's not like bad. I
Mhm.
just feel like it's very so far it's very mid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like and the first one was like I don't remember what the trope was. Enemies to lovers, maybe? I don't remember. But I did like the first one. And like the banter in this one is so good. Like the banter
Okay.
between all the characters is good, which like we love banter.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I'm sold on the romance that we're supposed to be believing in.
Yeah.
Which is a problem if it's a romance book, you know?
Yes. I totally know. It's always like it's always sad, especially if you like some of the side characters or you like some of the other aspects of the story. You're
Yeah.
not at all enjoying the main character, the main couple, and
And I was
it's a
kind
bummer.
of when because you know these like the standalone romances, like the interconnected standalone romances, you can almost always tell like who the next book is going to be. And I was a little bit worried at the end of the first book about this couple being the next couple,
Okay. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because it always seems that with these series, I will like if there's 3 books, I'll usually like 2 out of the 3. This
Yeah.
happens like this has happened with the Dreamland Billionaire series too, which is Lauren Asher. Like the
Hmm.
first one was only like a 4-star, but then the second one was a 6-star, and the third one was a 5-star.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
4 star is not bad. Like,
it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. But like,
yeah, it's never going to be like consistently all the way straight across because, well, I
right?
mean,
Like the only series I've read that are like interconnected standalones that I've like consistently given the same rating, which is it's a 6-star series for me, is the Jacksonville Race series.
I think another one,
But I
Jacksonville.
just think it's because all of like the representation is done really well.
Hmm.
Because like the first one is like polyamorous, like true polyamorous romance, which like you don't get a lot.
Hmm.
You get like
No, right. Like
you get
more
like
like
reverse harem, but like you
right,
don't.
like a why choose, yeah, as
Um,
opposed to
and then the second one is like a reverse age gap, so she's older than he is.
Pucking Wild. I don't know the name, the titles.
Yeah, that one. And then Pucking Sweet is like why choose turns into polyamory.
Okay.
Was interesting. And then Pucking
Pucking
Strong
Strong.
is male romance.
Okay. And they have one more coming out, Pucking Free.
Yes. Thank God. Oh my gosh. Well, and then we're supposed to also be getting a couple more volumes of the Pucking Ever After like novellas, which are
Hmm.
just like bonus
Right.
scenes that like didn't fit into the book. But I mean, have I read them all? Of course I have, because that's who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think inevitably, because see, like when it comes to romance, everybody has different things they prefer, right? So
Yeah,
it's hard when you're writing a series of a whole bunch of different characters and that you're not maybe not going to find one romance quite as interesting because you're just not into that really has a lot to do with preference, I think.
I think yeah. Yeah, which I think is why people will be like, "Oh, when they're interconnected, you can kind of jump around," but like I don't do that. Because
Mm.
also I like to see the Easter eggs for each book. You know what I mean? So like I mean, I've definitely accidentally picked up books not in the right order. I really wish that like all series did like what the Lauren Asher series does, where they put the numbers on the spine.
Oh, I wish all series, all
Like
of every single
like I
like
wish that was like a universal thing, like just across, like especially with like romance and fantasy specifically.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not a thing.
Because like,
Honestly,
do I ever remember what order the Throne of Glass books are supposed to go in? Absolutely not.
no. I don't understand why that's not a thing.
Like, I just feel like if
Frustrating.
they're part of the series, just and you don't have to make the number like ugly. Like you can make it match.
Right.
Like the Lauren Asher books, all the numbers match like the aesthetic of the
Hmm.
spine.
And
So
it doesn't
like
have to be
it's not
big
even
either.
a thing you notice.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be big either. It just has to be on there. So when you go to look, you go, oh, okay, that's number one. You know,
Right.
I'll pull that one out versus having to go every single time and look it up and see what order everything is or
Right. Because the number of times that I have one. I have a book that I thought was the first in a series, and it's actually the second. But like I had no way of knowing that, and then I bought it, and then I got home to like download it on Kindle Unlimited because do I read a physical book? Absolutely not. And it was like, oh, this is book 2, and I was like, okay, well, why did it not say somewhere that this was book
right.
2?
Yeah, my mom does that all the time, and I think it's because she mostly just reads on her phone, so
Yeah,
she is constantly like, "Oh, I just found out that this is book 3." And I think it's because like if she had, like it's easier when you have the physical books. But it's a lot harder when you do ebooks.
yeah,
It's just not as obvious. And they should have like it's not only on the side should they have a number, but they should have a list inside the book, especially if it's a physical book. But they don't always either for that. I don't
they
know.
don't. Yeah,
Like do series better.
just do
Publishing it
something
should
or
do it
make
better.
things.
Yeah. Yes, hubby. CUD. That's cute. If I can focus without too much pain today, I'll be reading Soul of the Deep. That's the second book in the. I haven't read the first one yet. I own it. Um, what is it called? Soul. That Skin of the Sea. Soul of the Deep by Natasha Bowen. Yeah, Skin of the Sea. I have that one. I think I got it like from an Illumicrate a long time ago. That one. How was it? What did you think of the first one, Christine? Did you like the first one, Skin of the Sea? You must have if you continued on. Um, Good luck sprinting, friends. Let's see. Thank you, Julie. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, friends. Just got out of the shower and I'm now foraging for snacks. Yeah, I definitely want to get something to munch on with my coffee when we go into our first sprint. So maybe we should do that. Start a first sprint. I think we'll do 45 minutes. I always, always, always say that I'm going to work on figuring out my StreamYard better so that I can pull up a beautiful timer, and I just never get around to it. And then I like try to go and share my screen and it won't share the tabs individually and stuff. So one of these days I'll figure that out. For now, I just use a banner. And if we're going to be doing 45 minutes, let's just go to the top of the hour. Let's just go to the top of the hour and it's roughly 45 minutes. A little less, but okay, so we're gonna sprint. We're gonna start our first one. Hopefully, y'all end up getting something, getting some good pages read, or getting breakfast, or getting lunch or snacks, or whatever time of the day you were in. And I'll see you in a little bit. Happy reading. Welcome back, everybody. Hope it went well. Let's see, what did I do? I don't know how many pages I read exactly, but I did get a little something to nibble on, and then I read quite a few pages. And yeah, making good progress, and it's cute. It's fun. The side characters are a lot of fun in this for sure. And I've had a couple of moments where I've laughed out loud. Love the love the description so far because this feels very like cozy, very very cozy, and cute. Yeah, the characters are great. I'm really liking the characters so far in this one. So excited to continue on. Happy that that's what I'm currently reading. Let's see how y'all are doing. Yeah, Skin of the Sea, it was good. Like, so talking about Skin of the Sea, it was good, like, hearing mythologies from different places. Danielle's here. Hello. Reading The Only One Left this morning. That's Riley Sager, right? Have you read any other Riley Sager, Danielle? I haven't read most of his newer stuff. I read everything that was older. The only one, yeah, Riley Sager. What? So I think the last thing I read by Riley Sager was Survive the Night, which I didn't enjoy at all. And then since then, I haven't read anything by Riley Sager, but I read Home Before Dark, Lock Every Door, Final Girls, The Last Time I Lied, and then he's come out with one, two, Middle of the Night, With a Vengeance, House Across the Lake, and The Only One Left. And not that I am letting Survive the Night stop me from reading more Riley Sager. It was just I was kind of surprised how I really loved the other books. I think every other book before um, Survive the Night I gave at least a 4 star, if not more. And then all of a sudden Survive the Night was like a completely different. It was just like, what is this? How did this happen? So, yeah, I haven't really got back to him yet, but I do want to read more. I mean, really, really enjoyed the first 4, so we'll see. I'll get there eventually. Good morning, Amy and Neva. Good morning, Jean. Switch to reading Night Shift by Annie Crown. I don't think I've heard of that. Hope you're enjoying it so far. And hi, Angela. Finished my book right before. Perfect. Perfect. I love that. That works out great. What are you reading? What were you reading? Did you? No, I haven't. You didn't tell me. What was the book that you just finished? What's your, if you say, what's your rating, and how well did you enjoy it? Danielle says, I've read 2 of his other books, Home Before Dark and The Last Time I Lied. Yeah, The Last Time I Lied I really liked. Home Before Dark I liked too. I think actually most people loved Lock Every Door the most of the original 4, and that was my least favorite of the original 4. Lock Every Door. Not that I didn't like it, I still gave it at least 4 stars, but that wasn't my favorite of those original 4. But yeah, Survive the Night. Whew, that was not good. I gave both 5 stars. Okay, good. Yeah, so you're ready to do more Riley Sager then. Makes sense. And yeah, Last Time I Lied was so good. Home Before Dark was good too, but I really liked The Last Time I Lied. And then I am the abnormal of all the people who've read Riley Sager's. I loved Final Girls, and most people didn't love that one the best. That was his first one. That was the one. That was my favorite, and that's a lot of people's least favorite of the original 4. But I really liked it a lot. It was just kind of it just, how some books just, not the synopsis, the story, the plot, everything just kind of hits right for you. That one worked for me. So, what's everybody up to? Here in the US, we have a vacation, a 3-day weekend. It's Labor Day, and I got a lot planned for this weekend. I'm going kayaking later on today, which will be fun. My cousin and I do an annual kayaking day, and so I'm meeting up with her to go kayaking. And then, what else? Tomorrow, we got a lot of things going on. Oh, TBR Trails tomorrow. We're gonna see if we actually can finish this round, which would be kind of cool. If not, then we'll have another month to do it. But we're getting close. Both teams are getting close to the end, and I didn't completely finish everything for my team this month. I came close. I read an arc of Game On by Kai Stevens. It comes out 9 out of 9. Wow, okay. 9, 9, that's what I meant. It comes out September 9th. Give it 4 stars. Okay, that's pretty good. Game on. That sounds. I haven't read a lot of. Is that a sports romance? I haven't read a ton of sports. I've read like, what was that one by Mariana Zapata? The Wall of Winnipeg, but I didn't enjoy. I know a lot of people really like Mariana Zapata. Um, that was difficult for me because I don't like. I like slow burns because I like the tension building of a slow burn, but that was too slow burn and it was a long freaking book. It just didn't do it for me, but I know that and I haven't read anything else by Mariana Zapata, so it's unfair for me to say for sure that this author is not for me. But based on that, I was like, I don't know if I'm really gonna love her writing. Yeah, so this is it. Coming out September 9th. Looks like football and cheerleader. Okay. And a 4 out of 4. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. Um, yeah, I haven't. Have I read any other aside from the Wall of Winnipeg? Have I read any other sports romances? Yeah, those are two like sports romances, and then the cowboy romances that's been really popular recently. Those are two areas of romances that I haven't really got into. LOL. Shell read Wall of Winnipeg too. Didn't you like it more than I did, or no? We talked about that. What did you give it? Oh, I gave it 2.5 stars. What did you give it, Shell? Shell doesn't really give anything under a 3 star though. Did you give it under 3 star? Nope, you give it 3 stars. You're kinder than me. um, yeah. So what else is going on this weekend? Yeah, TBR Trail tomorrow. Very excited about that. Find out what our books for this next month are going to be. Yeah, I've just been really keeping busy with my daily vlogging. Unfortunately, the last few days have been just so busy that I haven't been able to keep up with it very well. Like I didn't have a video come out this morning because we were gone all day yesterday, but trying to keep up with that and get it as much completed before the new month starts as possible. And yeah, that's it. That's it. What else am I doing? Oh yeah. On Monday, Jordan and Char, my cousins, and my mom and I were all going to do a 24-hour readathon. So they're coming tomorrow after TBR Trail to camp. They want to camp. So we have like a nice big wooded area in our backyard. And so they really want to go camping for Labor Day weekend. But I'm like, it's way too late to get a good camping spot on Labor Day weekend. So we are setting up the tents in the back of the woods, and we're just going to camp. And then on Monday, I need to do my 24-hour readathon for her kid, hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. So we are going to do a 24-hour readathon on that day. And then on Sunday, we'll probably do some crafting. There's a restaurant I really want to go to we haven't been to in a while. And so just going to enjoy this 3-day weekend. And we'll see what happens. I haven't got any sub jobs yet because nothing's come up. And then the really lame thing is that the district, or I don't know if it's a district or if it's the app, puts out sub jobs like at nighttime. So like they won't pop up until like 11:30 or something like that. I don't know if it's just the way the system is set up. And then I wake up the next morning, it goes, oh look, 3 sub jobs, and of course I click on it and they're gone because there are other people that apparently leave their phone on sound making at nighttime. I'm not that person, so yeah, it's always hard at the beginning of the school year to get sub jobs. But I have this friend slash coworker who is like really actively trying to get me a job, which is impressive and really nice. So fingers crossed she does. It would be at a school that's literally 3 minutes away from me, so that would be a nice commute. And yeah, that's my exciting news. And my brain isn't quite fully active working this morning, so there's not much more that it has to say. I should come up with like questions I can ask, like like bookish questions like it. Maybe I'll do that in the next set of sprints because mom's apparently starting to put the dishes away right now. So yeah, maybe I should come up with something like that because when my brain is still asleep, I have a hard time thinking of what else to say. And Neva's taking a nap, a much needed nap, so glad for her. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into another sprint and because we need to read. That's what we need to do. That's what I want to do. And I'll come up with a couple of questions that we can discuss in the comments and stuff like that when we come back. So, Angela, I hope you have fun picking up a new book, and I hope everybody else makes a lot of progress on the books they're currently reading. I'm hoping to make progress on mine. And we'll just go to the top of the hour again because that's just nice and convenient. A little bit of a longer sprint, but I think we can do it. All right. Happy reading, everyone. Oops. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good sprint. I didn't get much reading done that time around. Maybe I read a few pages and then had to help mom make breakfast. So it was good. It was really good. But we got these little teeny purple potatoes from the clinic, and because our clinic has like a garden program thing they do, and they take way longer to cook than other potatoes. And mom's not a cook. If you know my mom at all, she's not a cook. I mean, based on having watched my channel before, yeah, she's not a cook. So I had to make sure I got her going and make sure the potatoes cook all the way through. So had breakfast. It was really good, and yeah, that's my thing. That's what happened. That was mine. How did your sprints go? Did you get anything accomplished? Did you get some reading done? Um, Maddie popped on to say hi and is having a bit of a meltdown because of correcting mock exams, which I think is that's rough. I'm sorry, Manny. And I hope that it doesn't. I hope that things go better. That's really tough. And then Angela said, I started If Tomorrow Never Comes by Alice and Ashley on audiobook so I could get some cleaning done, vacuum, swept bathrooms. Wow, you are good. That's great. That's really great. All that. That's a lot. Um, yeah, something that needs to be done in my house. But not right now. Let's see. If Tomorrow Never Comes. By Alice and Ashley. Oh, it's so is it a romance or is it a contemporary? Romance contemporary. Just wondering if it was like a second chance romance, it looks like. I hope you're enjoying that so far. I finished correcting. My students don't pay attention to instructions and it's killing me. Oh, yes. I get that, Manny. I get that. Especially because you give instructions about 20 million times and then you put it up on the board or you put it on, you've obviously put it on the mock exam. And yet, there's just that little detail of actually reading the instructions. Yeah. Somebody was telling me about um a mock exam they do in their classroom where they make the students do some really wild stuff. Like if you read the instructions, all you have to do is put your name on the test and then sit up like you're not like you're done with the test. But if you're not paying attention, you start going through the questions, it makes you stand up and spin around and go and grab something off the other side of the classroom and stuff. And so the people who are just sitting in their chairs, just kind of waiting for it to be over, they are the ones that actually read the instructions. And in the end, once it comes to the end and the last part is if you did all this stuff, then you actually clearly did not read the instructions. And I think that's funny. I was like, that's pretty clever because, especially when it's a common occurrence, right? It's a very common occurrence that kids just don't read. Kids and older kids, because you have older kids, don't read the they just don't read the students don't read the instructions. Yeah. Oh yeah, I had that done as a student. It was hilarious. I'm actually planning to do it on Monday because yeah, especially now, you'd be like, you guys drove me to this. They drove you to it. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So, difficulties of being a teacher and the things you have to be patient about. There's a lot of patience required. So I was thinking about it and I didn't come up with it. I have found this thing called 20 fun questions about books. However, I have before we and if we get into that, we can do that. But before we do that, I have a little bit of research I need to do for something, and I was thinking maybe I could have you all help me um, come up with some things for this. So we're thinking about seasonal reading. If you're seasonally reading, I know a lot of people do seasonal TBRs and what have you. If you're thinking strictly seasonal reading, what genres would you count for each season? So let's do each season. Since we're going into fall, what genres, and I'm writing these down, what genres would you consider fall genres specifically? So I was thinking Nonfiction, because academia, you're starting the new school year. And then I was also thinking um, dark academia. Cozy mysteries. Just start throwing out the ones you're thinking of in the comments when you got them. Um, and let's see. So cozy mysteries, definitely horror because of the Halloween season. Thriller. What else do we think of when we think of, yeah, thrillers? When we think of fall, maybe even like not a little more obscure, even, or maybe more specific subgenres. So like cozy mysteries is a subgenre of mystery. Cozy fantasy, that's a good one. So like anything cozy, right? Or would you consider cozy fantasy more winter? Cozy would be winter also. I guess you could do both. Witchy, yes. And anything like supernatural, paranormal. Paranormal especially. Um, what else do I think of when I think of fall? Do you think of like, if I'm thinking from more of the academic perspective, would you think like historical fiction, or is historical fiction more? When do I usually like reading historical fiction? Like when do I what season do I am I in the most in the mood for historical fiction? Definitely not summertime. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna think about that. Where does historical fiction lie? Let me know. Where do you think which season do you think historical fiction works in? I'm thinking maybe it would work in fall. Okay, so let's go with winter then with the next one. Oh, football romance. That makes sense because football romance makes sense because it's football season. Good point. See, yeah, that's what I mean. Like even the like small subgenres I want to know about. Like what makes most sense in that season. Yeah, historical fiction, I guess you're right. It depends on, but if we had to put it in a season, Manny, I guess you'd have to then separate it based on what feels more fall-ish for historical fiction. Medieval is fall. Victorian, of course, yeah. Okay, so I'll put that. Medieval historical fiction. That does make sense. No, it's Victorian especially because the spring and summer was a very Victorian, like that would a lot of that like um, pastoral historical fiction would definitely be like spring, and then maybe summer. Okay, so let's move into winter. Winter genres. Um, like cold horrors, like horror set in cold climates. Cold climate horror. Christmassy, like romance definitely works. I feel like romance works in the summer too though. So like winter holiday romances. Jesus, that was bad. Sorry. Hockey romance. Polar fantasy. Thank you. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of. Hockey romance. Polar fantasy. Oh, I can't spell. Christmas reads. Yes, and mystery too, because Victorian era they wrote ghost stories. So ghost stories I think of, and I think of Christmas. Ghost stories, Victorian or Christmas reads. So mysteries. I'll write that. I'll just write what you wrote. And I'll put for both those ghost stories / Christmas reads mysteries. Um, as someone who rarely reads seasonally, this is fun to think about. Yeah, yeah. Um, I yeah, I think so too. Because I don't know that I always read seasonally. I like to read seasonally, but I don't. But I certainly have certain types of books that I just am more in the mood for at certain times of the year. And it I think it's kind of seasonally. It's just what I feel like reading based on certain things that are happening in my life at that time based on the seasons, if that makes any sense. Okay. So cold climate horror, winter holiday romances, hockey romance, polar fantasy. There's got to be more for winter. What else? I think I think what else works for winter? Anything that's like is also a situation where cozy fantasy can work too, depending on the cozy fantasy, as well as when would you put cozy sci-fi? I kind of feel like that would be more fall or just sci-fi's. Where would you put sci-fi? Yeah, that's a good point, Manny. I think it's weird for me because I'm in the opposite hemisphere to most of BookTube too. It's true, and that is hard because I like try to be cognizant of that. I'm not always, but because I live in the northern hemisphere. But yeah, you got to be cognizant of that because not everybody's going to be in the same season as you, especially when half the world or half the planet is in a different season. Yeah, sci-fi is one that depends. I think because I also kind of put it along that it's not necessarily academic, but because it has more of that, like, you really need to think about it. I kind of would put it in the fall genre because it's sort of like, beginning of the school year sort of thing. Is that where I'd put it? Is everything fall? Is that, would it also work? The cold of space? Maybe it would work for winter too. I don't know. Um, we don't have enough for winter. What else works in winter? When does fantasy romance work? I feel like that's like a I feel like that would work for kind of like I feel like that would work for fall. The kind of books, like big tomes. Tomes work for fall. Anything where if it's really cold where you live, you're going to spend a lot of time. Um, you're going to spend a lot of space opera works is summary to Manny, so that makes sense. Okay, let me put that for. I don't have summer set up yet, but let's imagine that I do. I'll put it right here. Summer genres. Oops, sorry. Still don't know how to spell. Where's my? Oh well. Okay, space opera. We'll put that for summer. Like anything, yeah, tomes are definitely winter. Oh, Manny's saying dystopian is fall, autumn. Okay, well, I'll put that dystopian. So tomes, and I'll say big classics, especially like our buddy Dickens. Stuff like that would be winter. And then romantasy is summer. Romantasy is summer. Okay. Romantasy. And then summer is also like all the summer romances. What do I think of when I think of summer? I think of contemporary when I think either I was like thinking, do I think of contemporary when I think of spring or when I think of summer? But I kind of think that contemporary tends to be more summer for me. And that literary litfic tends to be more spring. Don't ask me why. You can ask me why, but I don't know why. That's just the kind of stuff that I prefer to read during those seasons. I'm gonna say litfic for spring. Um, what else is spring? Oh, like we were saying, Victorian, Victorian, and pastoral classics. Christina says, "Remember to hydrate, feel that, feed thyself." I just did. Check the laundry, do all those fun, wonderful things. Thank you so much for reminding us so that we take care of ourselves in this 24-hour period. Um, okay, so anything else for winter? Why is winter so hard? Because we all just go into hibernation mode. I think that's what it is. Okay, let's talk about Let's see, small town romance and second chance or spring. Yeah, let's talk about spring. And second chance romance. I like that. What else is spring to me? What do I usually want to read in the spring? It's definitely more literary fiction that I want to read in the spring. The start of a new year. Um, Series, but that's that's not really a genre. That's important to put. Series continuation, just in general. Because I think a lot of times at the beginning of the new year, we're like, oh, what do we got to do? What do we got to get completed? Although some people would say that about winter too. What about epic fantasy? What's that? um, Also, spring, I think, because, you know, I think a lot of times for a lot of us who do read, and well, I guess it depends. Like, so for most readers that are not booktubers or within the booktube world, you don't think about books from a yearly perspective. Like, what am I starting the year out with? A lot of times, then you're just going to think about whatever you're reading at the time. I mean, that may not be true. That's probably a generalization. Like, especially if you are in the booktube world, we start the new year and we think about what's our TBR going to be for this year and stuff like that. So to me, epic fantasy is also spring because I think that's where you start. You have a lot more energy, a lot more motivation at the beginning of the year, and so you can tackle some of those. That's why I say literary fiction to me at the beginning of the year is something that you're ready to tackle because you have a bit more motivation. So I'm going to say epic fantasy is it spring? I don't know. I kind of feel like that's winter. I kind of feel like epic fantasy is winter. As much as I say that, it does feel like a winter sort of thing. I don't know. Everybody in the comments, what do you think? Epic fantasy, winter or spring? It's definitely not summer. Definitely not summer. What else is spring? I think middle grade is spring. Like just middle grade in general. I'm gonna put that. A bit of a generalization because middle grade is a lot more. It's not a genre, but and then yeah, epic fantasy. Where do I put that? Summer genres. Let's move on to summer genres. Um, Boat adventures. You could see both for epic. Yeah, I could too. Dang it. But if I had to put it in a season, I'm gonna say summer genres boat. Anything boat adventures. Adventure stories are very summer. Just I'll put adventure stories in general. Adventure stories. Um, what genre am I missing? We're missing epic fantasy. We haven't decided whether or not. I think I'm gonna put that under winter. I'm gonna say winter. Small town romance, series continuation, middle grade. What other kind of things I want to read in spring or summer? Mm, I don't know. I've got to do some more thinking about this. This is why I wanted to brainstorm a little bit with you all so that I could get an idea of what kind of stories do I have? We got sci-fi, we got classics, we got contemporary, literary, historical. Historical depends. Um, yeah, it's interesting because I definitely have different types of fantasy. You know, like the dark academia or like more academic style, say like a Discovery of Witches or something along those lines. And then you've got your more paranormal, magical realism. Oh, that's a hard one. I think magical realism for spring. Yeah, I'm just making up my own stuff. I think magical realism for spring. What's my reasoning for that? Yeah, what's my reasoning for that though? um, I gotta think about that. I don't know what my reasoning is, but I like it for spring for some reason. I still don't have a lot for summer. What else do we read in summer? What else do I got? Hmm, I don't know. Okay, well, I think that's a good amount of brainstorming for now. And if you think of anything while we sprint, let me know so I can write it down. Um, Let me know what you think because I'm very curious about this. We have a ton for fall. Apparently, fall is the season most people think about when they think about like reading seasonally, which makes sense because there's holidays in the fall that we center a lot of our writing styles and stuff around. I think of what else I read. Yeah, thanks for all your help. This is fun. Okay, well then let's do a sprint. Let's go ahead and I've been enjoying these longer sprints of getting stuff done and being able to read a bit. So garden is spring. Yeah. So like that's why I put pastoral classics, but just anything that's bright. That's why I kind of think magical realism, because magical realism can sometimes be bright and creative and unique, and oftentimes in books that are much more um, whimsical, you get some magic. That's not true completely, obviously. I've read other types of magical realism that aren't very whimsical at all, but I feel like sometimes there's a combination of both, and I think whimsy is very spring. Cottagecore. Is there a book style that's cottagecore? Anything like that works for spring? Is that a book style? No, it's just a clothing. I mean, I know they're starting to make books that are cottagecore y, but it's not a genre or anything. Is it a subgenre? Okay, well, keep thinking about it. We'll go ahead and um sprint until 15 because it'll give us plenty of time to read, and then maybe we'll get time to chat a little bit before we go into a final sprint. And we're just going to get a lot of sprinting done this round, my 4 hour period, because that's what I feel like doing today is reading and just getting stuff accomplished. So thanks for everyone who contributed, and if of course like during the sprint, if you think of anything else, any other genres that work within seasons specifically, and I'd love to hear your reasoning too. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so well, let's go. What am I doing? I'm not using my. Welcome back, everyone. How'd it go? How far did you read? What'd you get done? I did not get that much reading done that time around. Got a little bit done, but not enough. And I'm like, when you're just about to finish a chapter, I'm like 2 paragraphs away from finishing a chapter. And so I was like, oh man, it's 11:15. That's okay. Well, 11:15 for me. So Manny said she's going to go hang laundry and then see what I read. So what did you end up reading, Manny? I would love to hear what you're working on. Jessica's joining us. Hello, hello, hello. Reached 38% in Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. That's a romance, right? Things We Never Got Over. Sounds like a Things We Never Got. Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen this cover before. Like a contemporary, actually, isn't it? Romance, contemporary romance. Perfect. Hi, all. Hope your sprints have gone well. Yeah, they've been going well so far. Leanna, where were you? I needed your help. We were talking about, I'm doing a little bit of research, and we were talking about seasonal reads, like what genres, even subgenres, you would consider seasonal. We came up with like lists. We had a hard time with so we're coming up with fall genres and subgenres and stuff like that. And then winter, we had quite a few for fall and winter, but then spring and summer, we were having a really hard time. And so what would you so here's what we got. I'll tell you so far what we got. So fall genres, these are things that I consider kind of fallish too. I put mine, and then we had some feedback from everybody in the comments. So for fall, I said nonfiction because I'm thinking beginning of the school year. I think academic, like dark academia. Then I put cozy mysteries, although I think cozy mysteries can also work for spring. Depends on the cozy mystery. That's harder because there are definitely some summery cozy mysteries. Horror, thriller. Somebody was saying cozy fantasy, which I think could work for fall or winter. Witchy, and so that's more subgenre. Supernatural, paranormal. I was thinking. Someone said football romance. I think Angela said football romance, which makes sense because that's when football starts. And then Manny said medieval historical fiction because we were trying to figure out where you would put historical fiction. And like when do I typically read historical fiction? Either in the fall or in the spring. We're trying to think of where you'd most likely put historical fiction. So then Manny was breaking it down. So medieval historical fiction she'd put in fall, but Victorian historical fiction, and I said pastoral classics and stuff like that, I would put in spring. Then dystopian in the fall. And then in winter, we were saying cold climate horror, winter holiday romances, and that kind of goes along with like Christmas reads. I also said ghost stories because, the Victorian era, they really liked to do ghost stories in the wintertime. Hockey romances because hockey season, polar fantasy, poems and big classics because, it's colder, you're in that season. And then epic fantasy, I was thinking because it's also like more of an in-depth read. So in that time of the year when obviously people who live in a hotter climate during the winter, it's going to be different. But like in the wintertime, you typically are you start hibernating a little bit. And then that's all we had for winter so far. Then spring genres, I put literary fiction because I'm thinking like beginning of the year, you have the most motivation to get onto new things. You want to read the latest like literary or like magical realism. We weren't sure where to put magical realism. I kind of thought we could be. That was not a good sentence. I kind of thought it worked in spring, and then so I said spring genres. I said lit fic because I kind of think lit fic for me. I tend to read more literary fiction in spring, Victorian and pastoral classics. And then we had small town romance or second chance romance as like subgenres. I said like series, this isn't genre at all, but I was like series continuations, because you're starting a new year, you want to try and get things wrapped. Like, I guess you would do that in the winter, but I tend to do my series continuations, like really put effort into it in the beginning of the year because I'm like, oh, I can make a whole bunch of progress this time of year. I said middle grade. I don't know why, but middle grade is not a genre, but I think middle grade, I kind of think of spring. And then I said, like, I don't know about magical realism. You'll have to tell us what you think about that, Leanna. And then cozy mysteries also, because there's a lot of like cozy mysteries that are more like cottage core. Maybe I should put cottage core cozy mysteries and stuff like that. And then we didn't end up having as many for summer as I usually think of. Like I've thought about this before and I just couldn't think of them today. So space opera is what Manny said, and then romantasy, Angela said, for summer. Summer romances, contemporary. I tend to read a lot of contemporary in the summer. Boat adventures or adventure stories in work for the summer, and that's all we had for summer. I think we ran out of steam. So if you have any suggestions for seasonal genres or subgenres or types of books that you'd read in those seasons, I want to hear it. Let me know. Let's see what everybody else is saying. I picked up A Witch's Guide again. Started chapter 4. How are you liking it, Amy? Picked it up again? You read it? You read it already? I'm not caught up. I am liking it so far. It's really cute, and all the side characters are a lot of fun. Let's see, where am I currently? I'm just about to finish chapter 5. So I'm not very far behind you. I'm not very far ahead of you. And super cute so far. Like these characters are intriguing and fun, and they have a unique enough personalities, I think, that it's going to be a lot of fun to see where this goes. And the pacing is really good. Like the descriptors, it definitely feels like this is what I'm thinking of. Like this is a cozy fantasy romance that feels kind of cottagecore. It feels like, it gives you all those like garden vibes and stuff. So this would be good for the spring. It's also my pick for her kid. Oh, perfect. Oh, you just picked it up again, meaning you haven't read it yet. Okay. Oh, it's your July new release, like mine. It's also my pick for her kid. And then Leanne's like, yeah, fun. Okay. So continued my audiobook, switched laundry over, and mopped the floor. Wow, Angela, you are impressive. I am impressed. I'm impressed. I'm hoping you give me motivation. Agatha Christie is very summer to me because I used to devour them at my uncle's beach house when I was a teenager. Oh, interesting. Because then I would think of that as being more fall because of the mystery element to it. And but it makes sense that for you it has like connotations of when you actually read them. You read them in your uncle's beach house. That's really cool. I love that. Maybe memoir and coming of age for spring. Ooh, coming of age for spring. That is so clever because, like, spring is like a time when new life is coming. New life. If I think of like, I'm still struggling with like this thing up here. I'm really been struggling lately. But that's like when you have new life in the world. Springtime is when you have new babies and in the farming world and stuff like that. And so that would make sense coming of age because it's like you think of like the passing of life. I love that. For winter, when you're stuck inside because of cold, I'd say erotica. Yes, I love it. That makes sense. You gotta heat yourself up somehow. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It's almost spring here, so it's perfect. So it is perfect. Yeah, yeah, it is perfect. It's really giving me the spring vibes. I love the descriptions of the house, and then of course Matilda, the cute little older lady that's moved in recently, that is like talking about her garden and the argument she has with Malik about fruits and vegetables and stuff. Yeah, loving that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, new release. I started it a few weeks ago, but put it down to finish a TBR trail prompt. Yeah, I understand how that goes. Fairy tale for spring. Oh, that's a great one. Yes, I agree. Fairy tale. Did you say dark academia? Well, yes, I did. I did. That was my second one on here. Ooh, and dark fairy tales retellings. I'll write that down. Where's my winter? Dark fairy tales retellings for the winter. I like how specific that is. Glad I could help. More, give me more. We need more for summer. Give me more summer. What about my mythology? What about mythology retellings? That could be spring or summer to me. Huh. Mythology retellings? That is a hard one. Where would I put mythology retellings? You're saying spring or summer. I don't know. What does everybody else think? Mythology retelling, spring or summer? I would say more summer in my mind, but I don't know why. There's no good reason for that. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. Um, yeah, we need more summer. The list is puny for summer. We'll just say mythology retelling, so I have more. Domestic fiction or family stories. Okay, yeah, I like that. Domestic fiction. Would you say domestic thrillers for summer too? Would you say domestic? I mean, I think mystery is definitely in the fall, but maybe domestic. I said thrillers typically in the fall, but what about domestic thrillers? I kind of feel like those could work in the summer. I'm mainly thinking Greek myth. Those are summer. Yes, for sure. So maybe Greek mythology retellings in the summer, for sure. Greek, because then I think of like Nordic, Norse, sorry, Nordic. Norse mythology, I think of more winter time. Am I wrong? Norse mythology. Um, I'm mainly thinking Greek. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because summer can have a lot of thrilling activities and adventures. Yes, let's say domestic thrillers. And there are definitely some summery thrillers. I would count those obviously, but I'm thinking more generalized at the moment. Travel nonfiction or fiction. Oh yeah, good point. Like road trip books too. And I'll put like road trip books for sure. Yeah, I said adventure stories for summer. Because yeah, adventures. I definitely think of summer when I think of that sort of writing. Ooh, thank you. You fleshed out my list a little bit. I'm excited. Okay, cool. For reasons that are more pipe dreamish than anything. But yeah. So yeah, historical fiction still is a hard one. I guess you have to look at like each individual book and or each individual like subgenre of historical fiction and figure out where that would work. Like World War II or as we were saying, Victorian or medieval or like 20s and 30s or like on Steinbeck would definitely be spring or summer, mostly likely summer, and that's 1930s. Um, it doesn't really have to do with my channel. Let's put it that way. It's just, you know, my cousin and I have these pipe dreams that we want to open up our own little pop-up bookstore. And I was thinking, well, you got to have, especially if it's a pop-up bookstore, you got to have some kind of niche. And I was thinking a niche could be seasonal reads, like and cater each season, and during that season only have books. Not that we couldn't have other books, but you can only have a certain number of books when you do a pop-up because you can only have a small amount of books. And so like catering it just to have something unique and different, a different idea. Um, and then we would have all different types, but it would be not just like just witchy books or just this. I would want a variety of genres within that season. And then like um yeah, and it's just something we've been playing with the idea for a while now. For a while. It's been a very heavy focus at the moment that my cousins and I are just really thinking about because we're disenchanted with our lifestyles at the moment. And we're just thinking it might be something fun to give a try to. So, um, so Manny says, "Oh, I love that." Yeah. It's like I said, pipe dreams at the moment. We're thinking. Self-help motivational could be spring, could be arguments for winter and summer. I think new year, new you. You know what I mean? So I say self-help motivational for the spring. So then I guess for fall genre, I think more history nonfiction. Science nonfiction, I would think more summary. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we were talking a lot about this last night in my bookstore live show. We got very deep last night, and a little too deep for me. It was good that we have such a good group of people. But yeah, and just talking a lot about the direction that life goes in, and sometimes it's not the direction you thought it was going to be, and that's okay. But there's also times when you're frustrated with the direction it has gone, or at least it's stuck in. So, anyways, I love all these suggestions, so I really appreciate it. I got a whole bunch now, and granted, when it comes to any books, I would want to look at the actual book and see, like, is this better in this season or that season or what have you. But I think it's easier to kind of get an idea of what genres work best in each season. If we're ever gonna get this kind of thing going, we'd have to. Yeah, that was kind of our idea. Just because, like I said, if it's a big bookstore or a regular sized bookstore, it doesn't matter because you can have all different types of books. But when you have something small like a pop up, you have to be able to cater in some way to an idea because you can't have every book at that point. You can't have every genre, and it makes it a lot more complicated. Cathartic, and it was a great opportunity for your friends to be your cheerleaders. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Yes, yes, Leanna, you're a very wonderful cheerleader, and I really appreciate that. And it was cathartic. You cleaned up my tear ducts too. They're clean and they're doing well. Okay, so I think we should read for a little bit, and then we'll come back maybe in the last 5 minutes and chat for a little bit, and then we'll move it on over to Jess, so she has the opportunity to do the final leg of the reading sprints for Neva's 24-hour readathon. And I've got the link to hers in my description, and I will put it in the comments when we come back from sprints. So what we're going to do is we're going to just sprint until 11. No, not 11 because you're in a different time zone than me. We're going to sprint until 50, and then we'll come back. Gives us 10 minutes. Okay, that's perfect. Gives us 10 minutes to chat before it's time to turn you over to Jess. And yeah, so we'll do not 5 minutes, but 10 minutes. I think that's perfect. So anyways, think about, let me edit this and say final sprint too. Think about, I would love to hear, stop. I would love to hear more of your thoughts about genres or subgenres and what season they would work best in. Okay, so we're going to go into, oh my God, I never was and could never be an actual cheerleader. I'm a band nerd. I don't know, Leanne, you did a great job last night. You were definitely cheering me on. I appreciate that a lot. So, give me an L. Give me an A. Oh no, E. We gotta go E. Sorry. I forgot how to spell. Go Liana. All right. I say Liana. Liana. You say Liana or Liana? I don't think I ever asked you that. I don't think I ever asked you that. Is Liana or Liana? Anyways, tell me at some point. Happy sprinting, everyone. We'll see you back at 50. Welcome back. How did everybody's little mini sprint go? I am having so much fun. This is so fun. I hope you're enjoying it too, Manny. Mom's making lots of noise, so just so you all know, that's Mom. Um, yeah, I hope you're enjoying it too, Manny, because I'm having a blast with this so far. Just all the character, you are meeting a lot of characters in this. There's definitely quite a few of them. Why do I have my headphones on? It's just force a habit. It's not plugged in. I'm just wearing headphones. Um, so yeah, really, just so many new characters you're constantly meeting throughout this. But yeah, it's so fun. I just love the setting. The setting is really, really fun so far. Where am I? I'm on page 70, so making a little bit of progress. I have to have this done. If you've seen my TBR video, you'll know why. I have to have this done by tomorrow. So I'll be making progress today and tomorrow. By the end of the day tomorrow. So by the end of the month. Okay, let's see what everybody else is doing. I'm scrolling. Because I went up and was looking at something. Where am I? Okay. Where am I? Here we go. Yay, I just made it chapter 6. Oh, you're making better progress than me. I mean, you're going faster than me, that's for sure. I just started chapter 6. I'm partway through chapter 6. How much more do I have of it? We're just learning about Luke, which is fun. And I got this. Yay! Thank you. I know. It's not gonna. This isn't gonna be a long read. Um, it's not gonna be a long read. I just I get distracted and I have things going. Like I'm going kayaking today, so that'll be nice. But once we're done with that, I really have this whole evening. I have to work on my daily vlog editing because I didn't get anything out this morning. So I need to work on trying to get that going because I'd like to get that wrapped up soon once the beginning of the next month starts. And what else? Tomorrow is going to be a pretty busy day with TBR Trail. That always takes up. We have other stuff going on, so we have a lot of stuff going on tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get time to read tomorrow as well. But I think tonight's going to be my best bet for reading most of this. This is a really floppy book, and I like floppy books, but I think I like floppy books better when they're bigger books. Do you ever notice that? Like smaller books when they're floppy, they're a little harder to like get a good grasp on. When big books are floppy, they're great because then you can just kind of lay them on your arm. Random. Sorry. Good luck, Lena says. Hope you can get immersed into the story so it makes it easy to fly through. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. But yeah, sometimes it takes me a little while, especially when I change to new authors to get into the groove of, just having a hard time putting the book down, that sort of thing. Oh, excellent. We should exchange thoughts later. We should definitely exchange thoughts later. Yeah, I agree. Mom, can you wait just a few minutes? I'm almost done. Okay, let's see. Continued listening to my book and played Tiny Bookshop on my Switch up to 43%. Great job. That's great. That's good progress. Everybody's doing this Tiny Bookshop. Is this something that I don't have time for it, but should I be doing it anyways? Sounds so cute. My mother. My Kindle says I've got 4 hours left in it. It's definitely doable. Okay, definitely doable then. Hi, happy Saturday, Margaret. We are just finishing up, but it's good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. It's overcast here. Nothing. The last couple of days have been pretty overcast and not overly hot. It's never usually that hot around me. Tiny Bookshop game sounds cute. It does sound very cute. I'm not playing Tiny Bookshop. We cannot play together. We cannot play together. I think that sounds great because yeah, who has time for that? I got other things to do. And keep my mom in check. She's a troublemaker. She's a troublemaker like the troublemakers in this book. There's a lot of little like fun, whimsical troublemakers. That's my mom. Overcast and lovely here. I love to hear it. We have not had enough rain this year so far this summer. I don't know how about you, Margaret, if you've had more rain than us, but we had like 2 days of rain in August, and that's been it since like June. So we need more rain. This is ridiculous. Pages to turn. Hmm hmm We got pages to turn for sure. I got pages to turn when I read your book, which I'm very excited about. Ooh, it's the one you have to finish by tomorrow. Yes, exactly. And I'm 70 pages in, so I think it's doable. I totally think it's so fun. Like this is, there's only part of me so like there's that part of me that doesn't want to have to. I'm not rushing. Like I don't feel like I'm rushing through this. This is so cozy already that I'm like, oh, I just want to like spend my time reading it and be in a cozy situation, and it's fun. I'll just I'm probably going to end up keeping this. So then the next time I need a really cozy and I just want to take my time and read it gently, then I'll be able to do that. But yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun with it already. It's really cute. Very, very cute. Escape button game. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So yeah, this is definitely a good escape book too if you need that. If anybody needs that. I'm going to look up and link the next leg of the 24-hour readathons, the final leg of the 24-hour readathons. And let me let me get you the link. Okay, come on. Come on. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. Here it is. Okay, copy link. I'll put it in the comments. It's also in my description of this video so you know where to go next because Jess's sprints are going to be starting in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So I hope everybody's been having a really good time with the 24-hour readathon. I mean, 24-hour sprints. If you've been able to stick with most of them, it's been I can't stay up that long, so I'm really impressed by people who are able to. But yeah, it's always fun to be able just to jump in on these sprints whenever I see them and be able to do a little bit of sprinting with everybody. And Jess will be carrying us on into the final set of sprints. And that'll be another 4 hours, and then the 24 hours will be completely finished. If you ever want to go back and just watch the sprints, you can do that. I have a playlist in my description as well of all the different channels and their 4 hour sprints. And of course, this is hosted by Neva from Reading with Neva, and yeah, she does this every month. It's a lot of fun. So glad that you caught me before sign off too. Yay! Thanks for hosting, Amy. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Have a beautiful day as well. I hope everyone remembers to hydrate, feed yourself, check laundry, take men, stretch, show some love to the like button. Thank you. And sub and ring the bell for all of the tubers that are participating in these 24-hour sprints. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. I'm going to click off now so everybody has a chance to do whatever they need to do before switching over onto Jess's sprints. And thank you everyone who helped me with my seasonal genres and subgenres. I really appreciate that. And of course, if you are part of TBR Trail or you're participating in that, I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Mom and I are so excited to find out what our next set of prompts are, and of course, join you all for TBR Trail because it's a blast. All right, everybody, take care, and I will see you later. Bye. Thank you for sprinting with me. And